This movie is eerie, cheesy, emotional, funny, and it's damn good. I came across this movie trailer on Tubi and I was like, oh shit. It really gave me It Follow vibes, just a lot lower budget. So I gave it a chance. I by no means expected this to be a good movie, but it had its charm from the start. We're introduced to our lead, Jackson, who is writing her unaliveness letter, which simply reads, "The End." Remember this. Jackson then tries to end her life, ironically in a very comedic way. This intro brought me back to the early movies of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Napoleon Dynamite, those early 2000s comedy movies. This is the vibe I got from this, and I loved it. So when all else fails, she calls her friends, they don't answer. They call her family, they don't answer. Call the drug dealer, he don't want to hang out, he brushes her off. When all else fails, she calls the one person she's never talked to or met before. Her father. His name is Sam. They agree to meet up at the park, and truthfully, this is almost where I turned the movie off, because I was not a fan of the cinematography here. It looked like a student film at best. And I'm not knocking, I love indie productions. I feel like they're the most creative things to bring out artistic visions like that, in any genre. But the cinematography does get better. What saved it for me is that I knew this is where we would see Chompy. Yeah, big mouth ass Chompy. Eating that girl whole, and this is where I got the It Follow vibes for just a second. Jackson's character is so charismatic, she could and nearly did carry this film all by herself. Her relationship and the meetup with the dad, Sam, Sam's wife, Deborah, their angle, I really wasn't feeling it. It kind of fell short for me. I feel like that portion definitely could have been written better, but the contrasting personalities were so different and so entertaining, I kind of didn't care. After a near escape, Jackson goes to her father Sam and Deborah, where they have to escape Chompy once again. The film introduces Lotus, one of Jackson's best friends, which also gives this movie some much needed comedic relief. Lotus is like the guru of the magic and the sorcery and the voodoo kind of stuff. This is his shit. This is what he's good at. He knows his stuff. They have a running joke of like, Lotus, can you build us a magic circle? Can you create us a magic circle? But the only problem is they go to this chapel party, people's getting fucked up. Drinking holy water, fucking doing coke, fucking grinding on each other. Lotus has to sit the majority of this movie out because, in good fashion, he sees this girl is getting roofied, but he's like, no, wait, I'll drink it. They even pointed this out in the movie. I was like, there are so many different ways you could have went about that. Poured it out. Tell her. Kick the guy's ass. But you didn't have to drink the goddamn roofie. Idiot. But they play it perfectly because that's the theme that plays in this movie. Their next step, their next ideas, life just shuts them down. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. The movie spices up again because they see the girl that Chompy ate walking down the road. But Jackson realizes, hey, something ain't right. She sees the red flags. Because the girl, her name is Birch, she's playing dumb. Like, nah, I didn't get ate by Chompy. That wasn't me. What the fuck you talking about? Jackson's like, girl, it's fucking 3:15 in the morning. You're a fucking minor, like a minor, like a preteen. What the fuck are you doing out here in this neighborhood walking down the street at dark time? Just pressing her and pressing her. This is where one of the what the fuck comedic moments come in because we then find out that Birch is actually a what's called a shadow parasite, and she's turning everybody in the world into a clone of her. She even gets a hold of Sam, but it's botched. Sam is saved, but he has a fucking baby foot.
Baby foot!
Yeah.
It's kind of comedic in certain times, and it's super awkward when they shot it, but it's oddly satisfying to just to have these odd moments collected in this film. And another twist of events, we learn that Chompy is a good guy, and he is eating all the evil clones of Birch. I honestly did not expect this to happen, but he tells Jackson and Sam, like, hey, yeah, you're good, bro. I've been chasing you, not to harm you, but to tell you, hey, don't blow my cover. So you can go on with your lives, I'm gonna go eat these fucking clones, and I'll be out of your life forever. Just don't blow my cover. Jackson and Sam were like, whoosh! Alright, we can wipe our hands clean and go about our lives. But then, Sam's wife, Deborah, comes in at the worst fucking time imaginable. She drives up and she runs over Chompy and he's fucking dead, killing him. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And Jackson, she's just like, we're fucked. Yeah, you're fucked. Let's go get some pancakes before we die. And I'll say again, I love Jackson's character. I understand her sarcasm there, and there's never a dull moment with her. The dialogue for her, she just brings this aura to this movie. I love it. I love her character. They leave dead Chompy at Lotus's place. Chompy's dead. Lotus is passed the fuck out roofied. And after saying fuck it, they go to this little diner to have some breakfast. And Jackson just has this moment of fuck itness. She's pouring syrup all over the table, smoking in the diner. But Sam's foot, his little fucking baby foot, senses a group of Birches. This next scene is super hilarious because they pull up and there's just this group of Birches. And they kidnap one of them. There's this guy just standing like, holy shit, I just shit my pants. What the fuck did I just witness? And Jackson just runs up and scares the fuck out of him. He's scared, pisses his pants, he's running off. They make it back to shelter with the kidnapped Birch, presses her for questions, but they soon realize that, hey, shit's going bad now because outside there's like 20 of these little motherfuckers running around. We're fucked. So they lock the doors, lock the windows, try to barricade everything. In a last ditch attempt, they do call Lotus, who discovers the dead Chompy. They're like, hey, you know what? At bare minimum, bring Chompy here, load him up in the trunk. We'll grab each one of these little motherfuckers and I'll throw them in by hand. So yeah, Chompy's just in the trunk, just sitting there, fucking mouth wide open and shit. Lotus brings Chompy, but their plan fails. Some of them get into the house. They jump Deborah, but Deborah is saved by Sam. Deborah now has a fucking baby hand. Sam has a baby foot. And Jackson tackles herself and the Birch into Chompy's mouth. The VFX and the CGI up to this point has been minimal and passable, but this part is kind of corny. But it does do a good job of leading up to a very emotional part next. So Birch finally reveals that it's not her doing this. The shadow parasite is attached to her and it's making her do all these evil things. And being the good Samaritan that she is, Jackson takes it upon herself to rip the shadow parasite off her and take it in herself in order to save this little girl Birch. And I was like, yeah, very heroic. I probably would do the same thing if I had nothing to lose, just like her. So all the Birches outside that was Birch now turn into evil Jacksons. But Jackson forces all these clones of herself to dive into this mouth of Chompy, and her dad Sam ends up in there with her. He kicks the shadow parasite's ass off her, but now they can't get out because the portal closed. They're fucked. But this is where my man Lotus comes in clutch and saves the day. He throws this rescue rope down there, they hold on, and he pulls them out. He pulls them right out of dead Chompy's wide ass fucking decaying mouth. And thus the world is saved. Jackson and Sam do have this very emotional scene, which I give praise for because this movie is all over the place. It's mainly a comedy, but having this emotional scene in there, to break this down, I feel like it was a perfect fit for an ending. All the survivors are up there. You see Birch reuniting with her parents. Jackson finally just doesn't have this energy anymore to be sarcastic and brush everything off. So she breaks down to Sam, they hug it out, and the four of them, they all drive into the night. They finish their quest for breakfast, and you see the end. The exact way she wrote it in the beginning of the film when she was writing her letter to end it all. Beautiful way to end the movie. So yeah, this movie's bonkers. I'm hesitant to say it's one of those movies that's so bad it's good, because overall, I actually think it's a damn good movie. It's a lot to unpack at times, and the writing can be tightened up a lot, but the charisma of these characters and the mixed emotions, and all the bizarre situations that's going on, everything this film makes the audience feel, it's a wild ride. Even when they fall short, they do improve on as the movie goes forward. For instance, I was legit bored of Sam and Deborah's relationship from the jump. Their interaction with each other was boring, their backstory was boring, their relationship was boring. But although looking back, I feel like that was the director's intent to be that way. Because they do reference that later in the film. Because towards the end, when everything's going to shit and they actually sit down and talk to each other, I actually did start feeling for them. I actually started caring about their relationship that was falling apart right in front of their eyes. And it was like, hey, should we get a divorce? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? In the end, I do think they will get that divorce, but neither one of them seemed troubled by it. Like, maybe it's for the best, They don't have any kids. They can be friends. The cinematography greatly improved and became its own product. And by the time the credits rolled and I went to bed, I was happy that I watched this movie. It's hard to rate this or even put this in an actual genre. If I had to, I guess this would be a horror comedy movie. That being said, I'd probably give this a 6, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. It's a truly bizarre low feature film, but it's oddly satisfying and funny in its own way. So give it a watch. I think you'll like it. Thank you guys so much for watching and taking part of your day to kick it with me. I love you all. Until next time, adios.